This little guy is the Baxter robot. He can do all kinds of tasks. He's built for working inside of a factory. He will cost roughly the cost of 1 year's wage of an American worker. And that's great. That's great. People say that technology like this destroys jobs because people on the assembly line will be replaced. And I don't. This video isn't about that argument. I would argue to say that with a robot like this working nonstop 24 hours a day, they're going to have to hire more people in shipping because this robot is going to be able to output massive amounts of product. So I'd love to play the video for you, but there's anybody that doesn't like you for whatever reason on YouTube will just go ahead and flag you for copyright or whatever reason they want. But anyway, so I'll just tell you about it. Okay, this guy, he's built to work in a factory, right? You can get real sophisticated with the programming. You can also program him by running another program where if you just manually move the arms in a specific direction and pattern, it can remember the pattern. So, like, you can program it. If anyone out there who's worked in a factory before and has any concept of assembly line production type of work, this is amazing. There's all kinds of jobs, tedious, boring tasks that humans hate that are damaging to your body and your wrists and your hands and arms and are just exhausting to stand there in an assembly line for 12 hours and work. Those who've worked in a factory know what I'm talking about. So this guy can do all the tedious work, and technicians can just stand around and push the product through. This thing is amazing. So up here on the top of its head, you'll see this weird little thing with the little black dots. Those little black dots are little lights, little sensors. If a human gets in the way of this thing's motion path, it immediately stops. It won't knock you over. It won't. If a forklift comes driving by, it's not going to move in the path of the forklift and get caught up. This is quite amazing technology, and really the amazing thing about the Baxter robot itself isn't really so much this specific model or line of robots. It's really just, the question isn't whether or not robots are real at this point. That is an outdated question. The question is, at what point will this technology become cheap enough so that the average consumer or the average industry can find a practical profiteering purpose? So at what point can the profiteers begin to take advantage of these powerful tools? And we really are here. 2014 is the year of the robots. It's the year that the mass public becomes aware of the exact state of the union, so to speak, of the robot technology. This really is quite amazing. Developers that can use these robots will be in demand. On the video, it's actually pretty amazing. They're programming it, I believe, using PHP. I'm not sure, but they're programming it directly from a Ubuntu terminal. I'm not sure what language they were using. Didn't get too much into it, but I mean, come on. Developers know one language isn't that different from another. So anyway, the point is this is super efficient. This is the year of the robots, and this Baxter drone. This is a company that will probably be the model for a lot of other companies, a lot of startup companies in the future. Basically, a lot of the startup companies and the future companies will probably just copy their model. Hard to say for sure, but it's amazing what it can do. The prices of this technology are dropping about the same speed as, say, your cell phone or your computer part. I mean, every day, almost every day, I can get on Newegg or Tiger Direct and find an even stronger processor for even cheaper. And that's amazing. Every day I can find a deal on a cell phone that's light years ahead of my current Android, but cheaper than the Android that I purchased 3 years, 4 years ago when I bought the one I have now. So, at what rate will these things continue? Now, there's a lot of impractical ideas about robots and what robots can do, but there is a lot of very practical uses for these. And I guess the theory is, robots taking over the earth, or if robots are used in mass production, would there be no jobs for people? And really, the question is are these jobs that you want to do? Does technology increase and create jobs, or does technology destroy jobs? Now, obviously, if you create a tool to do something that previously took more people than it did before, then at first glance it looks like you're losing jobs. So let's look at this in another point of view. Let's say we did not want labor reducing devices in society. We thought that these devices were bad. And so we said that there can't be any machines that replace human workers. So, okay, let's take that mentality and let's ban bulldozers. Let's say that bulldozers are a labor-saving device, so let's ban all bulldozers. Think about how many jobs we would create if we banned bulldozers. I mean, you would have to have people, all kinds of people, out in the street with shovels digging holes, right? Oh, look at that picture. That's funny. So think about all the jobs we would create if we banned bulldozers, because this labor-saving device, labor-saving technology is so evil. You know what? In fact, think about it like this. All these people in the roads with the shovels, the shovel is a labor-saving device. I mean, think about how many jobs are lost because one guy with a shovel can dig more than 5 or 6 guys with his bare hands. Let's just ban shovels. Let's say that the only way you can build a road is if you hire people to dig it with their bare hands. Think about how many jobs we would create by banning labor-saving devices. Okay? So, you see where I'm going with this. It's actually ridiculous. We want to create tools that can make our jobs easier. We want tools that can. You're listening to music right now, or somebody in your house is listening to music. Let's ban that music player because that music player is a labor-saving device. Let's say that. Think about how many jobs we would create if we were to say that you can only hear music if someone was actually hired to play it for you, or you had to play it yourself. Think about how many jobs we would create by eliminating all the CD players and all the DVD players and all the digital media format out there. Obviously, what I'm saying is nonsense, because there is no such thing as a labor-saving device being evil. These devices will free people up to do something else. So with a machine like Wall-E, yeah, whoever had to stand here and put whatever peg on whatever knob before may be out of a job. Or are they going to need his help over in shipping? Because they're going to have a whole lot of packages to wrap. They're going to have to sort them between UPS, FedEx, the United States Postal Service, all the different ones. All right, there's not very many, but the point is that there's a lot of packages coming out with this type of mass production. In the future, will computers be smart enough to read, right brain style eyeball a product and match it with a box to the right customer? Sure, maybe. That's probably the innovatable outcome. But at that point, maybe there's more commerce being done online, and there's more jobs for secretaries or file managers or social media managers and all this jazz. So is Baxter a threat to you, Or is it just another labor-saving device that's going to make your job at the factory a lot less tedious? Save on your fingers and your wrists from fumbling all that paper or all those little things you've got to turn upside down and knobs you have to twist all day. There's a lot going on in a factory that the average person doesn't realize. So if this robot can operate and function for the cost of 1 year of an American factory employee, and obviously the robots are going to last more than a year, so all you need to hire is technicians that can maintain the robots. In fact, in the future, the only human workers in the factory will be technicians that work on the robots that fix the other broken robots. But that's too far down the pipeline. For now, let's just concentrate on the next step: technicians that fix these robots. So think about the cost to consumer, how much cheaper these products are going to be when robots can just spew these things off an assembly line all day long. Rather than are the robots evil, or is a greater evil the fact that the U.S. and other developed countries literally depend on slave labor in foreign Asian and South American markets for their way of life? See, the power of our money is so much stronger, and our buying power is so much stronger because of these different aspects. We rely on slave labor. So, fun thoughts from me today. Baxter, look him up. Check out the videos on YouTube. I may post a link on this video. I may not. It's not hard to just type in Baxter in the search bar right above you. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Take it easy and have a great 2014.